What has he done? I hear you say. Well, busy procrastinating because hacked aggie is pretty much up to the part where I am removing the rest of the black paint, which is a pain in the ass. So instead of doing what I'm supposed to do, I'm looking at my bike because I vowed not to touch Brittany until this is finished. So I'm not touching Brittany, I'm touching my bike. So I've always had an issue with the clutch, changing gears. When you change gears, it doesn't seem to, whether you say disengage or engage. Let's say engage the clutch. It doesn't really seem to engage the clutch, as in make it spin freely so it can go into gear easily. It's almost like a dog clutch where it just jams it into the next gear and you just keep going. There's no give there. And I've tried adjusting the adjusting nut and everything as well. And there still seems to be no give. Now I think I found the issue. I'll just quickly put back what I took off and I'll show you what I mean. Probably should have done this beforehand. These will get the gist of what I'm trying to show you anyway. Come on. Fucking hell. Oh. Alright, what was that? Oh good. It was a spring. Didn't go any further than that, so we're lucky. Alright, and this was here. Fantastic piece of photography right there. Alright, so I pulled off the clutch and this is what it looked like. Now, can anyone see what the issue is? I'll give you a hint. So seeing that bend in it, so which way do you reckon it's supposed to go? Probably 90 degrees to the right. So that moves freely there and doesn't bend the shit out of it. That's right. Right. So with like that, when you change gears, which I'll do now by changing the gear lever, see how that turns it? Now what this thing here does is push on the inside of the case, this little plate here, which moves the clutch sort of towards me, towards the camera, which disengages the clutch so that you can do the next gear change smoothly and it doesn't dump it into gear. Now with that like that there, I'm guessing it was struggling to turn the thing and to lift the clutch away because of the spring tension and because of it's not in the correct position. So it would still change gears, but it would just dump it into gear because the clutch wouldn't disengage. And there you go. Well, anyway, so we're doing that. I pulled all that apart. here we've got, if I remove this plate here, so there's a seal around there, and the oil pretty much goes in through this hole here, and then spins up around this area here. Now this area here actually acts as a centrifuge and an oil filter for the actual oil. So all the shit that gets caught in the oil actually ends up along the side here. And it's actually on the maintenance schedule to actually pull this thing apart and with a rag wipe out all the grit and crap that's all through there. Otherwise it becomes too clogged up and pretty much doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Yeah, it sort of acts as a centrifuge, so it's a clever design by Honda. Much better than a sort of a paper filter or a synthetic filter of any type. A centrifuge is much more efficient at getting all the crap out. Gets thrown along the wall just with the force of the clutch going around and around, around and around. Flicks out to the side of the wall and all the shit just stays there, and the actual oil keeps going, making its way down into the crankcase through the hole there. Well, there you go. Alright, so with my beautiful rag here, I'll clean just the inside of here just to see how much gunk this thing's actually catching. A nice wipe along there. You can see there's a fair bit of gunge and gunk along there. So I'll just keep cleaning all around here, and then I'll I don't know, see how far I get. I might take the clutch out just to have a look at the that detent thing that's behind the main gear there. Alright, clutch is out now. That was the lock nut. And I had to craft a socket out of a 20mm 1/2 inch socket with a Dremel, a mini grinder or mini cutting disc on the Dremel. I made that. Just saved myself 20 bucks. Yeah. Cool, so no damage done. So it's good, I can actually see the main bearing, the main crank bearing down there as well. See what condition that's in, because this motor hasn't been opened at all. I haven't opened it since I've had the bike, so it's good to have a look at. So I'll get this main gear off now. I'll just take the circlip off and pull that off and have a look at that detent thing that's behind there. And yeah, make sure that's all good. If that's all good, start reassembling and put it back together. Alright, got the main gear off, easy enough. Alright, so what we've got here is the shift drum stopper, this thing here. So each indent is a gear. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have neutral as well. So I'm not sure which one's which because I'm not sure what gear it's in. But the problem we have at the moment is, so this arm here, every time it changes its gear, should go into the next groove, pretty much. But have a look what happens when I shift the gears on the gear levers on the other side of the bike, when I'm simulating shifting gears. Yeah. So, it is in fact shifting gears, but it's not doing it properly, and it's not sitting in each gear properly because I haven't touched this. I don't know whether you can see this. Loose as buggery. So, this little arm here, I know it's got a name because this is the thing that breaks off. I think this is the thing that broke off on your bike head. So this little jigger here is actually slipped under there because this isn't screwed down properly. And that screw isn't, like I can undo that with my finger. See how loose it is. So I'm lucky that thing didn't come out, get chewed up in the engine somewhere on the clutch. Yeah, could have had all sorts of dramas. So we'll have a go at, I'll take it off first and just have a look under there, make sure there's nothing else, no other major damage. And if it all looks good, I'll screw it back down and see if we can get it working. Alright, so it was all good. No damage done. Although it doesn't mean to win much, because it hasn't been screwed in properly. But you can see there's an indent there where that peg fits. So this peg was just spinning freely whenever it was actually being shifted. So if I simulate it changing gears again, you can see how it turns there. And that's what actually turns the shift drum stopper to lock it in each gear. So I'll line them two up, put it on, tighten it up, let's see if it works. Alright, so we're all screwed down. Everything's going to go up nicely. I will use my good, maybe not that one, my good persuasive friend on this screw to do it up, to make sure the thing doesn't come out again. But I think it was put down properly. I just don't think the old mate, Farmer Joe, that had obviously put some clutch plates on this thing, assembled it properly, and probably didn't locate that peg into the locator hole. So it never lined up properly and it was always sitting proud, hence why the arm for the shift drum stopper kept going underneath and it never sort of locked into gear properly and always had troubles. But yeah, let's have a look. So it's neutral now. So neutral is the first indent there. So go first gear, second gear, third gear, and fourth gear, which is fine. Hasn't gone all the way in, it's only because the engine isn't rolling over at the same time. You can see if I've turned that, actually moves the gears into place, because the bike has to be actually moving to go into gear properly anyway, so I'm pretty happy with that. So go back the other way. Third, second, first, and neutral. So we're on. All right. Because that wasn't done properly, and that the clutch disengage plate thing on the clutch at the top there wasn't done properly, I'm a bit dubious about how the clutch plates are put in. Although I've never had any real issues with it, but it's just those 4 screws there to get in there. Alright, I'll see if I can persuade those screws to come out with the impact driver, and we'll have a look in there and just have a look at the clutch plates. I do have a spare set of clutch plates anyway, so I might just put clutch plates in it anyway. Give it a fresh set and go from there. Hopefully reassemble. Alright, so I managed to get those 4 screws out, no problem with the impact driver, without stripping the shit out of the heads of them. And I got the springs out of the front of it as well. So just leave them up and let them go flying through the garage, which is great. So I've taken the retainer clip out and all the plates just sprang out because they're under pressure, the spring pressure. So I'll take these out and I'll video this because I want to make sure I take them out in order, and if I need to, I can refer to the video to put them back in as well. I don't think I'll have an issue though. It's been hard to do one end though, isn't it? I might come back to this. Oh, so all the clutch plates are out. They don't look too bad actually. I don't know what a bad one would look like anyway, but there's no burn marks on any of the disc like it's been bloody, you know, running hard and wearing out. So I don't actually think they're that old. Because I got it all out, I may as well put the new ones I got on anyway. Yeah. So that's that bloody retainer thing that has all the springs on it as well. So that's the first thing that goes back in, and then they all just pretty much go in on top of that. Alright. Start reassembling then, I guess. Before reassembling, I just have to mention this. Hey Bob, guess what these are called? Bob weights. Bob weights. Yep. So what they do pretty much is at idle, the engine and the clutch obviously isn't spinning fast enough for the clutch to engage. And then when the engine's revved up, the centrifugal force pushes these bob weights out, squishing the clutch plates together, which gets the thing moving. So yeah, the more bob weights you've got, the more I guess pressure is applied to the clutch plates. And I know you can do upgrades with these to put more bob weights in them. Yeah, so it's a lot stronger clutch on it. It's pretty much like putting a clutch together with stronger springs than that on a car, I guess. Like a heavy duty clutch or a button clutch like in the Triple R. Alright, here's my 3 new clutch plates. So what I'm going to do there is add a bit of oil to them, just on the plate, sort of smudge it in, and then reassemble this in reverse order. I'll see whether I can put this phone somewhere where it's not going to fall and film me doing it, or I might not. Let's see. Alright, well that all done. I've double checked the book just to make sure I've done it correctly. I'll give this top plate a bit of a clean, a bit of fluff and shit on it. Go about trying to put this thing back on, because it's under a fair bit of pressure now. It's going to be good fun doing that. And yeah, and if we get that on, see about reassembling it. Alright, well that was a prick. just trying to compress the springs back down to yeah, put the retainer thingo clip back in. It was a prick, so I had to pretty much find a socket to fit on this end to keep it off the ground, so the thingos could come out of there. Yeah, and kill my knees, trying to lean on these to try to put it on, put that retainer clip in, make sure it was seated properly. But after that was all done, it was all good. One thing I did notice is, if you'll see here, insert the springs between the clutch plates A and C for the sub springs, which just mean the shorter springs here. These were actually between A and, well, clutch plate C was where clutch plate B is, clutch plate B was where clutch plate C is. So there was uneven pressure on the clutch plates due to this spring pushing on the wrong one at the wrong time. So there was a bit of uneven wear on the actual the clutch fibres or whatever they are themselves, and there was sort of scorch marks on the clutch plates that had like a heap of spring pressure on them, and not much obviously on the ones that didn't have hardly any pressure on them because yeah, they're in the wrong water. So old mate Farmer Joe buggered that up as well, but that's all fixed up now. So yeah, so didn't manage to get any of this on camera. He's probably sick of it anyway. Battery went flat, so I put the main drive gear back on, circlip on, slip the clutch on, put the lock nut on with my special homemade tool, and then the washer, there's a pin, well, the washer that's underneath, as you can see there's these little thingos here, these little pins, so you can pretty much just fold one in to one of these recesses, so when the engine's spinning the nut's not going to come off because it's locked in there by that washer. So just one tab, I'm told, will do the job. Alrighty, as you can hear there's probably a party going on in the background, I don't know whether you can hear that. Couple of tough guys having a fight. Anyway, so I'm going to continue putting this back together, and I might even go for a night ride. Had to make a little bit of a gasket where the centrifuge cover is, whatever it's called, that's what I'm going to call it, centrifuge cover. Yeah, because some of the gasket ended up on there. I'm just going to leave that on there, I'm going to be lazy. Because I've gooped that, I'll stick it on there and put it down. It doesn't matter if it really leaks because it's going to just leak into the engine anyway. Yeah, alright, done that. Started putting the shifter thing for the clutch back on. I knocked that, God, it's terrible, isn't it? I knocked that din out of it. It's still reasonably straight, so I'll reuse this. If I have any issues, I'll just hold a new one of these. The spring's on it as well now, so I'll put that on. Yeah, we'll go from there. Alright, still buttoned up. Oh yeah, trip meter's going now. Oh, like a Singer sewing machine. Neutral. First gear. Second gear. Third gear. Fourth gear. Neutral. I'll take it out for a sneaky ride. nicely now. I think we're good. Alright. See one lap with the camera on and another bigger lap with the camera off because I thought I was going to crash riding one-handed in the dark with just a hoodie and some jeans on, and it was raining. So let's do 4.6 Ks on the new trip meter. Look at that, snazzy. The new adjustable head stem steering didn't come undone. I didn't crash, which was good. Yeah, pretty good. Actually quite happy. It actually shifts nicely between the gears now, which is, yeah, funny enough when you put something together right. The only scary thing is that a couple of those big rides that we've done, both at Talbotville and at Ed's Block, and then the solo run to Delegate with a clutch like that. Yeah, could have gone a lot worse and blown up on me or something fallen out, or who knows what would have happened, but it didn't. You know why? Because it's a Honda. Monty's happy as well. Alright, good. Well, that's it for tonight. Ta-da.